Buffalo Bills secondary has been one of the most talked about units this season, and not necessarily for good reasons. And let's be real, the questions are more than fair. Through the first 5 weeks, it's become clear that, outside of Cole Bishop, this group has not lived up to the expectations. And when you dive into the tape, things look even more frustrating. This isn't just about 1 or 2 busted coverages, it's systemic. It's inconsistency, lack of chemistry, missed tackles, and players either not understanding their roles or just not executing. Starting with Taylor Rapp, the disappointment has been loud. One of the core elements of Rapp's game over his career has been reliable tackling. The guy was known for his physicality and ability to wrap up. That was his bread and butter. But so far this season, he's not just missing tackles. He's misreading angles, taking passive approaches to contact, and looking slow in coverage. There's a lack of urgency in his play. And when you see his safety playing hesitant, that's a major red flag. The whole secondary suffers when a guy in the middle of it can't close fast or attack downhill with confidence. And the tape doesn't lie. Rapp has looked unsure and ineffective far too often. Now Cole Bishop, on the other hand, has shown signs of growth. He's not perfect, but he's the one defensive back who looks like he's ascending. His interception against New Orleans was textbook, a smart, aggressive read and a strong finish. But beyond just the flashy moments, he's been more consistent. You can see him getting more comfortable with his assignments, flying downhill, and playing physical. That's what you want to see from a young safety. So, while there are big concerns around him, Bishop gives you a glimmer of hope that not everything is falling apart. Then there's Tre'Davious White. Here's the thing. He might not be underperforming in the traditional sense because at this point, what we're seeing might just be who he is now. We're talking about a player who was never an elite athlete, even at his peak, and now, after multiple significant injuries and the natural decline that comes with age, the limitations are real. He's still a smart player. He knows where to be, plays with decent leverage, and makes solid tackles. But when you're facing guys like Jalen Waddle or Chris Olave, you need more than just smart positioning. You need explosion, change of direction, burst. And he just doesn't have that anymore. So while he might be doing the best he can, it's fair to say he's not capable of giving this defense what it needs in today's NFL, especially when he's being forced into a starting role he's not physically suited for anymore. Christian Benford is another player who's taken a step back. It's not just that he's struggling. It's that the standard he set over the last couple of seasons made you expect more from him. His run defense and tackling have still been strong, but in coverage, he hasn't looked like the same technician. And this is the kind of player who relies on discipline and spacing. He's not a freelancing ball hawk. So when the rest of the secondary is out of sync, that has a domino effect on a player like Benford. He needs support, he needs cohesion, and right now he's not getting it. Still, that doesn't totally excuse his drop-off. He's not meeting the level he's proven he can hit, and that's a problem. And then we get to Taron Johnson. Look, Taron has had some big moments in past seasons. He's made impact plays that help balance out some of his inconsistencies. But this year, that side of his game has vanished. Whether it's in run fits, coverage, or just reading the play, he hasn't looked sharp. And honestly, with how much base defense the Bills are running now, 20 snaps of it just last game, you start to ask if he's even needed out there as much as he is. If you're not getting the splash plays and you're getting average to below average coverage and tackling, it becomes a lot harder to justify keeping him on the field for every snap. So if you're keeping track, that's 4 out of 5 members of your secondary either regressing or playing at a level below what's expected. And that's not just bad, that's alarming. Cole Bishop is the lone guy trending upward. Trey White is who he is. Rapp, Benford, and Johnson are all underperforming. And yet, somehow, the Bills are still ranked 11th in EPA per pass and 5th in yards per pass attempt allowed. That's the part that feels bizarre. The numbers say the pass defense isn't falling apart. But if you watch the games, you know it doesn't feel that way. The defense just doesn't look cohesive. It doesn't look fast. It doesn't look dangerous. And that gap between the stats and the eye test is where the concern lives. And it raises the question, if things look this disjointed with this group, where's the fix? Is it Maxwell Hairston? Is it about getting healthy again? Is it about coaching? The truth is probably a mix of all three. But if the Bills want to be serious contenders, this secondary can't keep giving up chunk plays or looking confused on third down, because eventually it's going to cost them games. And here's what makes it even tougher: the injuries. The plan was never to have Trey White playing starter-level snaps deep into the season. The plan was to gradually integrate Hairston, maybe platoon him with a veteran, and find the best rotation. But injuries to Dorian Strong and the lack of proven depth have forced Buffalo's hand. And the harsh reality? Hairston hasn't practiced since July. It's October now. This is a rookie who hasn't been in pads for 2.5 months, and the NFL doesn't wait for anyone. There are no preseason games to ramp him up, no joint practices to ease him in. It's go time, and throwing him out there before he's ready could ruin his development, or worse, hurt his confidence and hurt the team. The staff knows this. That's why you'll probably see them bring Hairston along slowly, get him practice reps, then maybe mix him in for a series here and there. Build his snap count. Let him get his feet under him before handing him a full workload. It's not ideal, but it might be the only option. Because let's face it, this secondary needs a spark. They need someone who can make plays on the ball, who can fly around and make offenses think twice. And if Hairston is that guy, they need to do everything they can to prepare him the right way. But again, that's a process. That takes time. And in the meantime, the Bills are going to have to rely on the same core that's been underwhelming so far. They'll need Rapp to figure it out. They'll need Benford to find his rhythm. They'll need Johnson to step up and get back to making plays. Because without that, you're putting even more pressure on a defensive front that's already been banged up and a quarterback who's already carrying more than his fair share. The good news? These guys have all shown in the past that they're capable of playing better. This isn't a group of rookies. These are veterans who've made plays, won big games, and been part of successful defenses. So the potential is still there. But at this point, potential won't cut it. Execution will. Discipline will. And until the secondary tightens up and starts playing like a unit, the Bills will be at risk of letting games slip away. Not because of a lack of talent, but because a group expected to be a strength has become a glaring weakness. Now let's talk about what might be coming next for this Bills secondary, and how the coaching staff could try to clean up this mess. The name on everyone's mind right now is Maxwell Hairston. There's a lot of hope being placed on a player who hasn't even taken a single snap in a regular season yet. And it's understandable why. He's fast, aggressive, athletic, and by all accounts from the offseason, he's got the raw traits to give this secondary something it's clearly missing: explosiveness. That quick trigger to close on routes, the speed to recover when beat, the length to contest at the catch point. The problem is, like we said before, he hasn't practiced since July 29th. Not in pads, not in game speed, not against real NFL wide receivers. That's a long layoff for a rookie who's still adjusting to the mental side of the NFL. So while there's definitely excitement about what Hairston could bring, there has to be patience. There's no training wheels in the NFL regular season. Every rep he gets from here on out counts for real. The best case scenario is a careful, smart ramp up. Give him practice reps, get him comfortable, rotate him in slowly, maybe a series or two at a time, and see how he handles it. And that might be the only realistic approach. You don't want to rush him in and risk a setback or a complete confidence crash. The worst thing you can do to a rookie corner is put him out there before he's ready and have him get torched in prime time. Still, this situation also exposes how thin the Bills are in terms of cornerback depth. The options beyond the starting guys are not inspiring. Dane Jackson is on the practice squad, and we've seen what he is: a capable depth player, not a starter you want playing major snaps week in and week out. Jamarcus Ingram is still hanging around, but hasn't shown he's ready to contribute in a meaningful way. So when the injuries pile up and the performance of the starter slips, you don't have much wiggle room. That's why Hairston's return is such a focal point, because there just aren't many other cards left to play. Then there's the possibility of making a move before the trade deadline. It's not out of the question. We've seen Brandon Beane pull the trigger on mid-season deals before, and this year the need might be too obvious to ignore. If a solid corner becomes available from a team that's headed toward a rebuild, the Bills have to at least explore it. There's a short list of guys out there, veterans with experience who could step in and offer stability right away. But that's always a tricky balance. You have to consider the salary cap, the locker room fit, the compensation you're giving up. And even then, you're rolling the dice a bit. Bringing in a player mid-season and expecting them to instantly fix a broken secondary isn't realistic. But maybe it's not about a savior. It's about one more steady hand in the room to help calm the chaos. And let's not forget about the coaching. Bobby Babich, the defensive coordinator, is under pressure. There's no denying that. When you hear the word disjointed thrown around repeatedly to describe the defense, that's a red flag. And while it's true the injuries have stacked up and the roster isn't at full strength, that excuse only goes so far. At some point, your scheme and your adjustments have to carry the load. When guys are out of position or making the same mental mistakes week after week, that's not just on the players. It reflects on the preparation and the communication coming from the top down. Babich has talent on this coaching staff. Sean McDermott is a defensive guy. Eric Washington has been in the league a long time. You got plenty of minds in that room to come up with solutions. But right now, it feels like the plan isn't working. There's too much confusion in the back end. Too many third downs where the Bills are playing soft and giving up easy completions. And for a team with championship aspirations, that's unacceptable. One of the biggest questions is how long the leash will be for Babich. Is this a wait and see until the end of the season? Or does the front office step in if things continue to slide? For now, it seems like the team is giving him time to figure it out. But make no mistake, if the defense continues to look disconnected, the heat is only going to rise. The clock is ticking. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. The NFL world is buzzing tonight with whispers that have the league on edge. SHEDEUR Sanders, the rising star quarterback whose college career had been nothing short of electric, has reportedly made a stunning decision. Sources close to the situation suggest that Sanders has accepted what insiders are calling an irresistible offer from the Buffalo Bills, sending shockwaves through fans and pundits alike. While no official announcement has yet been made, the mere rumor of Sanders heading to Buffalo has already ignited endless speculation about the future of the Bills' offense and the league as a whole. According to the chatter, the offer on the table was simply too good for Sanders to pass up. A combination of financial incentives, guaranteed playing time, and the promise of becoming the face of a franchise that has been hungry for a long-term solution at quarterback. If true, this would mark a seismic shift, not just for Buffalo, but for the NFL landscape, potentially reshaping draft strategies, trade talks, and team dynamics across the league. Observers are already debating how the young quarterback style, poise, and talent could mesh with a Bills team known for its physicality and high-octane offense. The timing of this decision, if accurate, is also fueling speculation. Could Sanders' choice signal a new era for the Bills, one where they fully commit to building around a young, dynamic signal caller? Or is this just a prelude to a bigger domino effect, with other teams scrambling to adjust their strategies? Whatever the case, the buzz is palpable, with social media erupting in reactions ranging from disbelief to sheer excitement. Analysts are already forecasting record-breaking games, highlight reels, and perhaps even a dramatic playoff surge if Sanders lands in Buffalo, as the rumors suggest. For now, fans can only wait, refresh their feeds, and imagine the possibilities. One thing is certain, the NFL rumor mill has rarely been this electrifying. The notion of SHEDEUR Sanders donning a Bills jersey, taking the reins of an already formidable team, is enough to keep the conversation going for weeks. Whether it's speculation or imminent reality, this story is shaping up to be one of the most tantalizing what-ifs of the season. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.